My next guest tonight, my Great Britain indeed, is endurance runner, adventurer and mental health campaigner Sally Orange. As if those weren't sufficient claims to fame, she is also the only person on the planet to have completed a marathon on every continent in fancy dress, as different pieces of fruit, to be precise. Sally Orange, you see what you did there. Sally holds multiple Guinness World Records, has completed more than 50 marathons, 8 Ironman triathlons. If you're not exhausted yet, note too that Sally has under her belt 22 years exemplary service in the Royal Army Medical Corps as a physiotherapy officer, including an operational tour of duty in Afghanistan. Pausing for breath, Sally joins us now. Hello, Sally.
Hi.
And you're already able to correct me. It's not 50 marathons, is it?
It's actually 71 now.
That's just extraordinary. How do you find the time? I mean, you're obviously a busy person, and yet you're achieving all of these colossal physical challenges.
I think sometimes it's one of those, if you want something doing, you ask a busy person. And I don't ever think I'm that busy, actually. But yeah, just go and do them. They only take 4 or 5 hours.
And I've only really scratched the surface, haven't I? There are all manner of other really quite extraordinary challenges that you have undertaken and completed. So could you list some of those?
Well, I was very fortunate to take part in the Invictus Games in 2016. I was part of a team that swam the Channel. Well, actually, we ran from Marble Arch to Dover first, then swam the Channel, and then cycled from Calais to the Arc de Triomphe.
That's all you got.
And then I was part of I put together an all-female team to cycle from the west to the east coast of America.
Wow.
And yeah, so 3,000.
That's quite a famous one, isn't it?
Race across America. Yeah,
yes.
3,000 miles. And we did that in 8 days and 12 minutes.
Oh gosh, so what does that work out per day? Just quickly, sorry.
And then, you would be the person to ask, Sally.
Well, there was somebody cycling all of the time, so it's quite hard to work out how, just because it was done like that.
As if a marathon isn't bad enough, there's another marathon, I think, that's regarded as one of the most wearying.
Yeah, so I did the Marathon des Sables, which was in the Sahara Desert, so temperatures of 50 degrees when doing that.
Right. I mean, I know as well, because this is, the Great Britain element of the show is always it's where people have, like yourself, have faced a challenge and overcome it and turned it into something positive for other people. And you've described your own challenges with depression.
That's right, yes.
What's your solution? When you feel that the black dog arriving, what is your approach?
It's changed because I've had I've done a lot of work, and I can't say it's easy, but exercise, getting outdoors, nature, all of those things, do help. And also I think giving yourself a purpose. I think when I left, I was medically discharged from the army, and I kind of lost myself a little bit. But then I was very lucky to become one of the national ambassadors for the Army Cadet Force. So that gave me a real purpose again. And the motto of the Army Cadet Force is to inspire, to achieve. So it's, I'm inspired every day by those cadets of what they do. And hopefully I inspire them with some of the things that I've done as well. So, they're some of the things that help me now. And the real part of me dressing as different pieces of fruit.
I wasn't going to ask.
It's a bit of a fruitcake, actually.
there is actually quite a serious element to it. And if I'm dressed as a piece of fruit, often it makes people smile, which is always a nice thing. And they'll come up and ask me why, and explain that I'm trying to break down that stigma associated with mental ill health. And that starts that conversation. And just by having that conversation to begin with, someone will often say that perhaps they've had a problem or they know somebody else has had a problem. So it just really subtly opens the conversation.
I just wonder what it is. Some people, when challenged emotionally or otherwise, go down. But your response was to run across the Sahara in 50 degrees of heat or swim the English Channel. I wonder what it is in your character that makes you respond to adversity in that way.
I think when you've been that rock bottom, the only way is up. So anything that literally anything you're able to do. At times it was getting a shower. It might be getting a shower without washing my hair because that might be too much. And I think it's just small steps every day then realising, yeah, actually, that taking on those other things isn't that difficult after you've been at that place.
And what kind of sums of money are we talking about that you've been able to raise with these endeavours?
I think it's over £500,000 now.
Incredible. I'm so impressed.
I came back from Svalbard, just off the coast of Norway yesterday.
That's where I'm from. Not Svalbard, but I'm from Norway, yeah.
And I was part of a team that we skied from the west to the east coast of Svalbard. So I am a little bit pink still, a bit windburnt as an adventure. I think the spirit of adventure really does bring out. You learn so much about yourself, you learn a lot about your teammates. And because I do it for charity, that's another purpose. It makes me, I've had help and I've had to ask charities for help, particularly Walking with the Wounded and SAFA, they've been there for me to help me. And so it's just a chance of being able to give back and know that there might be other people at later times in life that will need that help. And so if it's there to help them, then it's doing a good thing.
What is your approach? Because I'm thinking, for people who are struggling in some way, that to be confronted by you and your CV of achievements could be intimidating. How do you get the message across to people who are at that rock bottom that you described?
It's totally not always been about achievements.
Yes.
And I think having come from the place where I have not achieved it so many times, we were talking about failure earlier.
Yes, it applies
and actually in learning. So if somebody doesn't quite achieve what they do, it's looking at the pros and cons of what they have achieved, because there'll be something that they've learned from it. So yeah, I think it really is just taking that forward. But no, I very much am a normal person, totally normal person that has lots of different failures, but that is nothing extraordinary or special.
I don't.
I disagree, and you're extremely modest with it.
Yeah, I think that's almost part. We try as often as we can every week, at least, to hear a story like yours, and they're all different. And that modesty is always there.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's an ingredient that's there, that people who they describe.
The more they achieve, the more modest they are.
The most incredible challenge.
The greatest don't spike the ball. Just act like you'd been there before, and it sounds like you've done a lot. Yeah. You didn't run one marathon. You've got 71.
So I think some of the another one that was quite fun when people say, "Oh, you're completely nuts."
Can I just interrupt though, because this has really been terrible. When I said fruitcake before, you're about to say nuts, so it's good.
Yeah.
It was not because of your mental illness. It was because of what you're doing here. I suddenly thought, no, this is really inappropriate.
I'm now playing on that.
The nuts.
And so someone said, you're completely nuts. And I thought, oh, brilliant. So I got a nut costume and had a sign on me that said, nuts about mental health, together we can crack it.
Oh,
and got the Guinness World Record for the fastest marathon dressed as a nut. And I've also done one as a cracker. My friend dressed as a Christmas cracker, and I was a cream cracker. Oh. So I've been bananas, I've been nuts, and
wonderful.
So a Fruit Loop's got to be in there somewhere. Yeah. So don't worry.
Sally Orange, you're undoubtedly a Great Britain. So thank you so much for coming in, because a story like yours, told in the way that you have been able to tell it, is just uplifting, I would say, and it makes the world feel like a slightly brighter place.
Oh, well, the future's bright, isn't it?
The future's Sally Orange.
Amazing.
No, thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you very much. It's been really nice chatting to you all.
Thanks for coming in.